Hello there and welcome back to the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel, where today I will be giving you my preview and prediction ahead of Hull City versus Blackburn Rovers, live from the MKM Stadium tomorrow, 3 PM kickoff. We're back to the old trusted 3 PM kickoffs tomorrow for the final game in charge, asterisks, with Andy Dawson in charge. We will come to all of the higgledy-piggledy a bit of information regarding the upcoming Hull City manager a little bit later in the video, so stay tuned for that one. But first of all, let's preview the game. First of all, starting off with our injury update. Happy news for the second week in a row. There is no new injury news. Fresh, clean bill of health for all the players. We did think there may have been a little bit of an injury case there with Cody Drammer from picking up a bit of a knock on the head last week during the game against Middlesbrough. But everything seems fine with that. The press meeting yesterday labelled that he was good to go, fit, ready to go. No new information on players that are unavailable, of course, with an extensive list of injured players. I'll just quickly whip through them now. So Andy Smith, Mohamed Baloumi, Rushworth, Drama I say is back, Cynic, Cartwright, Miller, Alzate, and Lo Tutala. All of them remain on the sidelines. Miller and Baloumi both out for the season. The others, we expect that they could be back in December to January time, so we're nearing the return period for quite a lot of them injured players, which will reduce the injury list down quite a lot. So we'll have some positive news certainly coming up over the coming weeks in the injury front. So let's move on to my Hull City predicted starting 11, powered by our friends over at Fanhub. If you're not familiar what Fanhub is, it's a free app that you can get on your phone where you just basically get rewarded for being a football fan for free. So you get free rewards such as free beers, free pieces of merch, free tickets to games, all sorts, just for being a loyal fan to your football club. So download it, select what team you support, and every time you attend a game, every time you predict the lineup for your team, doesn't have to be Hull City, you will get rewarded, and you can turn those rewards into real physical prizes. So use my link down in the description and my golden ticket code HUL-IZR. You get rewarded for using that, and it also allows you to bypass the waiting queue, so you get in and earn those rewards even earlier. So the predicted starting 11. I've gone with only 2 changes from what Andy Dawson put out last week. Of course, it will be Andy Dawson in the dugout tomorrow, as I've been saying all week. If Ruben hasn't been announced come Thursday for the media junkie, then it will be Andy Dawson in charge. And we haven't had official confirmation of that, but even if Ruben Sellers gets announced now, I would not want him in the dugout ready for this game to take over from Andy Dawson's thunder and also dispersuade the players. So that is Ivor Panda Net. An interesting side note I'll have on Panda's game time moving forwards in a bit, so stay tuned for that. Back 4 remains with Louis Coyle, Alfie Jones, a returning Charlie Hughes, as he has served his 1-match ban against Middlesbrough, so he will be most likely back in the starting lineup. I certainly would be shocked if he wasn't. And then Cody Drammer over at left back, as I say, he is fit, ready to go. Maybe a question of they might want to put a little bit of precaution out, but with it being a head injury and he's completely fine to go, he will be fine to play, start the match. So you can maybe see Ryan Giles in there at left back, but for my pick it is Drama, and I think that he will start. Ahead of that, Xavier Simons. Simons been fantastic, so he will get the hopefully the starting role there. Ahead of them, Regan Slater and Casey Palmer, the unchanged duo from Middlesbrough. Casey Palmer, I think he's going to thrive under Ruben Sellers. I'll cover that in a little bit as well. Out wide, Abu Kamara, Ryan Longman over on the other side, and then up top, João Pedro. Could make the argument for Mason Burstow after picking up his first goal in black and amber, only 90 seconds after appearing against Middlesbrough. But I think that we will go for an unchanged target man up top. So, other news. Let's dive into some of the other news around Hull City. So, got an update on Uriel Selly. So this has been reported by someone who Basically covers Universitario, where Selly is at. Quite extensively. So this is the Google Translate of it, so it might not be word for word accurate, but it'll be close enough. Uriel Selly has a good chance of continuing at Universitario de Deportes. The possibility of acquiring the transfer that belongs to Hull City in England is being considered. This would make sense. Selly's only at Universitario to basically gain international points for then to be moved at Hull City. This was a transfer that was made, I want to say about 2 seasons ago now, without looking into the notes. So it's certainly one that will probably happen because the club direction has changed multiple times since Selly was acquired by Adjan. So yeah, and he seems to be doing well over at Universitario. I don't see any reason to be holding on to this one. Another contract, another fee that we've got to pay. Get rid of him to a side that want him, and we get a little bit of a cash injection from it. So can't see anything too wrong with that. But we'll keep you up to date on all of the news around Uriel Selly. A little bit of news about Ruben Selles. So Selles is expected to be announced imminently. We are waiting for this one, whether it will be announced ahead of tomorrow's game, at the game, or afterwards. We will wait and see on that front. Some positive news. The duo of his backroom staff will be joining him at Hull City in James Oliver Pearce and Tobias Loveland. They will both be joining at Hull City as part of the backroom staff. I presume, similar to the Tim Volter setup, Andy Dawson will still remain his role in that key area of the backroom staff. So fantastic news that. Hearing from quite a few Reading fans, they're very unhappy with the departure of their coaching staff, and I believe one of their academy coaches is taking over the mantle of senior of the senior role. So some interesting news there. But Ruben Selles is expected to all be done, just waiting for the formalities to be confirmed. So I said about Ivor Panda early on in the video about how his role at the starting job at goalkeeper may be under jeopardy. And that's because Hull City are back in the hunt for Altay Bayindir. Of course, currently the Manchester United goalkeeper. Or not the Manchester United goalkeeper, but a goalkeeper at Manchester United. Before Manchester United picked him up, Hull City were in links to come and pick him up. Obviously, he picked Manchester United for that. But Hull City are back in the hunt for him. Of course, him being Turkish himself, having links with Adjan, could see that there. But it's a very interesting one, considering that at the moment we have 3 very, very strong goalkeepers on the books. Of course, one of them, Rushworth, being a loanee. But still, you've got some wiggle room around that. So it's a bit of a weird one to be back in the hunt for Bayindir. Yeah, we'll keep up to date on that one, see how that develops, whether that does mean that we may be losing a Panda or something like that. But yeah, it's fun time because the January transfer window rumour mill is starting up, and it's a bit of an interesting one, to say the least. To say that the first report out is that we are in links for Bayindir, but take it with a grain of salt because it seems like a very, very weird one to be in. But yes, big news, Ruben Selles soon to be coming. So, last meetings between Hull City and Blackburn Rovers. We've pretty much dominated them in the last 3 meetings. A 3-2 win at home in around a festive period last year. Before that, a 2-1 win at Ewood Park. A big one that I believe that was the Aaron Connolly brace off the bench game. And then before that, it was the 0-0 game where Harry Vaughan got his Hull City debut. I believe in that game, I think I was there at Ewood Park, I believe, on that day for Harry Vaughan's debut. But a 0-0 affair was, when you say a 0-0 affair, you mean a 0-0 affair with that one. No team looked really like they had a chance of winning that game, which I believe that game meant Blackburn stayed down. Talking about form, yeah, the Reds for Hull City, and then the Greens are for Blackburn. So Blackburn, they're doing quite all right in the current run of form. 2 big wins on the bounce, 1-0 win against Middlesbrough, and then a 1-0 win against Leeds United at home. Whereas we're on a 5-game losing streak. Haven't won since the 1st of October, so over 2 months now. So yeah, it's all looking fun. The table does reflect that as well, with us still sitting in the relegation zone. Tomorrow could be a time for us to go even lower. If we lose and obviously the teams below us win, we could get knocked down to, I believe, 23rd, or maybe even 24th. I'm not 100% sure. And then Blackburn, they are flying quite high after having some good results go their way. So yes, a very interesting one once again, as Blackburn do seem to be picking up quite a lot of 1-0 wins and close game wins. So, shared shirts. There isn't any former Hull City players currently playing at Blackburn, so we're going to go straight into shared shirts. And that one, I've gone for a very recent one in Tyler Morton. So Tyler Morton, of course, last season he was on loan at Hull City. And then season beforehand, he was on loan at Blackburn. Definitely developed far more at Hull City than he did at Blackburn. Blackburn, who was known as a bit of an off and on player. He'd have like one good game, and for every good game, he'd have like a few bad ones or something like that. Was the general consensus when I was talking to a few Blackburn fans about him when we picked him up. But Hull City was flying high, and I really put this in here to spark up the conversation. Tyler Morton's not doing anything for Liverpool. I believe he may have picked up a little bit of an injury, but he is still very far down on the pecking order over at Liverpool, who currently are about 9 points clear of the league. So it does spark the conversation. Would the talks be open for even a loan back to Hull City for Tyler Morton? Maybe under Ruben Sellers. He likes the change in passion away from Tim Volter. Maybe them conversation could spark up in January. We will wait and see, of course. He could go somewhere else in January. He could make a permanent switch somewhere else to another Premier League side that maybe want him. So we will wait and see on that front. But I just thought I'd spark up the conversation. He's not being used at Liverpool, so why not maybe try and bring him back and try and use him into the Hull City squad. I know it'd probably take a roll away from Simons, or I'd have to have a switch on with something. But it's the thought to have. So, player to watch out for. It's a bit difficult with Blackburn. They have had a few of their top players go down injured recently. Of course, their goalkeeper has been absolutely fantastic for them this season. But I've gone for Todd Cantwell as the player to watch out for. He is the top assist man for Blackburn Rovers in the Championship this season, bringing in 3 assists. He is playing pretty well consistently, and in his last game, which of course was the Leeds United game, he managed to pick up a goal, which was the winning goal from the penalty spot, that being, but still be it a goal against Leeds United. So fantastic stuff that for him. So certainly a player to watch out for in Todd Cantwell. I believe before the season he was at Rangers, so certainly a very good quality player. Score prediction. I think Andy Dawson may bid his caretaker career, certainly for the moment, on a good high note with a 2-1 win for Hull City. I don't know if that's a deluded optimism. I don't know what it is, but I do think the Tigers will pick up a 2-1 win at home. Snap the 5-game losing streak, snap the winless streak since the 1st of October, and show Ruben Sellers, you know what, we can win. With goals coming from Charlie Hughes. Bit of a different one now. I apologise, Charlie Hughes. A bit of a different shout there, though, for a goal scorer. And then I do think Ryan Longman will get an important goal for himself and for the club. So I will leave you with that photo of Adrian Elajali. As I remind you to make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel to keep up to date on everything Hull City. I will have my vlog out from the game afterwards tomorrow, and I will keep you up to date on all the news surrounding Ruben Sellers, Hull City, and any of the juicy news that we get as we move into a positive time looking forwards with the Ruben Sellers Barmy Army. So I will see you in the next video. Up the Tigers.